So economic transparency has always been the biggest discussion point between a CIO and his peer executives, his CIO and the CFO. The reality is most IT organizations exist in this bucket of money. They have $50 million, they have 500 applications, and because it's so complex to the rest of his peers, the presumption is they're spending that money appropriately. But the reverse is also true, where when they want a new project, the new VP of credit cards, they fully appreciate it's going to be $1 million in a year because that's the answer they always get from the CIO, regardless of the size of the project. So there is no transparency there. They don't really understand how much their portion of IT costs, and more importantly, they don't understand how much IT costs to actually operate and run over time. Everybody generally thinks about the total cost of acquisition, in other words, what's the initial price, and rarely think about the total cost of ownership, how much it costs over time. Because the reality is software will last 20 years. Infrastructure might only last 3 to 5, but that software has to sit on infrastructure over that period of time, even though you're replacing it. And that third-year replacement is costly, and nobody actually thinks about that when they paid $1 million upfront. So transparency important in that you need to be able to disclose to your business units how much, in fact, each one of those applications, each one of those workloads, each one of those business capabilities you provide to them actually costs. Because when they come back to you and say, you know what, I read this great this great article about this business capability in this magazine, or vendor X has come to me to sell me how much better and cheaper I can do my HR systems, and they will dictate a price of X dollars per person. If you can't compare that with the $30 million bucket that you currently have in order to provide them with an apples-to-apples comparison, you as an IT group will always lose that argument. So you have to really think about and create a service-based measuring cost model to provide your business so that you can make those comparisons, so that you're part of the decision-making process instead of just the receiver of SaaS news.